Hi, my name is Rowena, and I'm 16 years old. My mom and I had just moved into this new town, and while she worked as a maid in rich people's houses, I went to play guitar outside this fancy coffee shop to make some money. One day, as I was playing, a Kim K wannabe reached into her expensive bag and threw some coins in my collection box as her friends giggled behind her. I always recognized a spoiled brat when I saw one, so I chose to ignore her and continued playing.
That should be enough for the entire month. Now scram!
Oh, thanks! And I see that expensive bag didn't come with manners. The next thing I knew, she kicked my collection box, and the money I'd collected that day went flying everywhere. As I scrambled to collect, she and her minions stepped over me and walked into the coffee shop. But in a few minutes, the fire alarm there went off, and people ran out screaming and coughing. Oh my! I dropped my guitar and ran into the coffee shop, and I heard someone crying for help. It was that mean girl from outside. I put her arm around my shoulder and took her outside.
Thanks for saving me. Sorry, I was mean to you earlier. I'm Mandy.
You're welcome. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to go get my guitar. I went back to the coffee shop entrance, but much to my shock, my guitar was gone. I couldn't believe I'd been so careless, leaving my only expensive possession out on the street. After searching for a while, I gave up and decided to walk back home. It was getting dark, and I heard footsteps behind me. I turned back and saw a tall guy. I panicked and ran fast.
Hey, you! Stop! I found your guitar!
What? Thanks.
I found it during the commotion, but I couldn't find you, Rowena. I knew it's yours. Seen you play there often. My name is Nick, by the way. See you around.
He smiled and walked away, and I just realized how handsome he looked in the moonlight. I couldn't stop blushing. A week passed, when one day during class, Mandy, followed by a bunch of reporters and the town's mayor, walked straight to my seat.
Hi, bestie. It's so good to see you.
What's going on?
Hello there. I'm the town mayor, and Mandy is my daughter. We're here to thank you for saving my precious pumpkin's life.
It was nothing, sir. I'm just glad your pumpkin is safe. He handed me a goodie bag which had a new iPhone and a full scholarship to a rich kid's school. I couldn't thank him enough. I went to the new school the very next week and was sitting right next to Mandy in the class.
Everyone, look who it is. If it wasn't for Ro, I wouldn't be here with you all. Can you even imagine not having me around?
Mandy's minions sniffed and blew her kisses. That's when I noticed a familiar, handsome figure. Nick, you're here too?
Yes, nice to see you again.
Again? How do you two know each other?
I was stammering to hit a word, but thankfully she finished the sentence herself.
Doesn't matter. Now come, let me introduce you to the girls.
Throughout the day, Mandy kept me very close to her, and every time Nick tried to talk to me, she kept interrupting. She also made it clear that Nick was way out of my league.
Nick's parents are billionaires, and his ex-girlfriend is a famous pop star. I also happen to know your mom's a maid.
Whoa, how did she know all that? I was already having a hard time adjusting to the new school. What would happen if they all found out I was dirt poor? I wasn't ashamed of my mom. I just wanted to fit into the new school and maybe go out with Nick. A girl can dream.
Oh, relax, bestie. Your secret is safe with me. My lips are zips.
Thanks, I guess? In her new bestie spirit, Mandy also promised to help impress Nick, so I did everything I could to measure up to his standards. First order of business, dining at a fancy seafood restaurant, where Mandy ordered crab, which was apparently Nick's favorite. I don't really like seafood.
Oh, don't be silly, bestie. Imagine how pleased Nick will be if he finds out you share the same taste in food.
She was right. For the sake of Nick, I was going to eat crab and enjoy it, but it didn't go as well as expected. The moment I tried to bite one, it grabbed my face and wouldn't let go. I thought they were supposed to be dead.
Haven't heard of muscle memory? Here, bestie, let me show you how it's eaten.
As days went by, keeping up with Mandy got very challenging, but at the same time, it also seemed to be working because Nick paid more attention to me. They're so good. After watching a couple videos together, he actually asked me out on a date. Oh gosh, I couldn't believe it. There was one problem though. I didn't have a fancy dress to wear to my perfect date. That evening, I went home and cried to my mom. I've been asked out for a date by the cutest boy in school, but I don't have a dress to wear. How great is that?
But you have so many dresses, honey. Why not just pick one?
Mom, are you kidding? I can't wear any of my dresses. Even all the money I've saved up will not be enough to get me the kind of dress I want. I was devastated. But the next evening, Mom greeted me with a large box in her hands. Inside it was the most beautiful red dress I'd ever seen. Oh, wow. Mom, this is so beautiful. I put on the dress and it fit like a glove. Thank you so much, Mom. You're the best. But how did you afford this?
Don't worry about it, honey. Just enjoy the date.
Little did I know, that red dress was about to turn my life upside down. On the day of the date, Nick asked me to meet him at the seafood restaurant, and when I walked in, he almost swallowed his tongue.
Rowena, you look stunning.
Thanks, Nick. It's one of my favorites, too. We had a lovely time until he ordered crab. OMG! Who knows how many of these were alive? I was staring at the plate for so long, and Nick noticed it.
Come on, dig in.
Oh, yes. I'm just,
Hey, stop. I can see you don't like these. You don't have to change your tastes for me. I like you for who you are, just the real you.
He immediately ordered some other food and sent the crab plate away. Wasn't he the sweetest? And when the date ended, he kissed me goodbye. But when I got to class the next day, I walked into my worst nightmare. Nick was kissing Mandy in front of the whole class. Before I could react, Mandy pulled away from him and slapped him hard.
How dare you kiss me when you already have a girlfriend? You ought to be ashamed of yourself, Nick.
So Nick was kissing Mandy. I ran to the bathroom heartbroken. Mandy found me right away and pulled me into a hug as I broke down. I thought he and I had a connection.
There, Ro. Boys are the worst. Just forget about him. He's not worth your time.
Despite everything, at least Mandy had my back. That afternoon, however, things took a turn when I opened my locker and a note fell out. When I read it, my heart almost stopped. Your mom stole the red dress. I have evidence. You'll smash your guitar on Monday over lunchtime or I'll get her fired? What? It couldn't be real. Mom would never steal. But I was wrong. When I confronted Mom, she confirmed my fears. How could you do that, Mom? Now I'm being blackmailed. It's either your job or my guitar. What am I supposed to do now?
I can't lose that job, Rowena. How do you think we'll survive if I can't work anywhere anymore? Mandy's father is a very powerful man. If he fires me, it's over.
Wait, Mandy? Of all the houses in town, you took the dress from Mandy's house? What were you thinking? Ugh, now how was I going to fix this? That Saturday afternoon, I went to play outside the coffee shop one last time with my guitar. I was about to finish my performance when Nick showed up.
Rowena, can we talk?
No, stay away from me, Nick. I have nothing to say to you.
Please, hear me out.
He grabbed my hand, and when I yanked it away, he fished out a note from his pocket and handed it to me.
I know you're angry at me, but please read this note.
Rowena's mom stole the red dress she wore to your date. If you want to protect your little girlfriend and not have her mom arrested, you have to kiss Mandy in front of the whole class to humiliate Rowena. So this is why you kissed Mandy?
Yes, I was only trying to protect you and your mom. Do you have any idea who could have written this note?
No, but I have my doubts. It was Monday and finally time to say goodbye to my guitar. I waited until the school cafeteria was full. Then I climbed on top of a table, took a deep breath, and smashed my guitar into pieces. As everyone gasped, Mandy rushed towards me.
Oh, bestie, that was insane. Poor guitar. Are you all right?
I'm fine, Mandy. I'm, just trying to go viral on TikTok.
Oh, yes, that's a thing now, isn't it?
What's wrong, Mandy? You seem upset that I'm not upset. You wrote the notes, didn't you? I thought she'd go defensive again, but she smirked instead.
Took you long enough to figure it out. Anyways, I loved the show you just put on for us. That guitar was so ugly anyway. And with Nick, oh, poor lovebirds. How are you feeling after your little heartbreak? Shouldn't you be crying?
No, she's not crying because we beat you at your own game, Mandy. She just tricked you so you could confess. The recording is on its way to the principal now. Oh, and to your dad.
What? I don't understand. What do you mean you beat me?
You see, a few days ago, I overheard you tell your friends not to miss lunch on Monday because something big was going to happen. When Rowena showed me her note, I realized you were the blackmailer.
And then we went to the mall and bought the cheapest guitar we could find.
So that's not your expensive guitar you just smashed?
Of course not. That's just some cheap knockoff.
You dumbhead! Just wait until you get out of shock of your life.
Just then, the cafeteria door opened and my mom walked in carrying a mop bucket. Why was she here? Worse, Mandy walked up and welcomed her in.
Hi, Mandy. Thanks so much for asking your dad to get me a job here. The pay is so much better. I'm so sorry I took your red dress.
You mean the dress you stole?
I saw Mandy and the look on her face reminded me of the first day we met outside the coffee shop. Gone was the sweet girl who'd become my friend the past few weeks. Enough, Mandy. You don't have to.
Oh, you think you're so smart. Everyone, meet our new janitor. Does she look familiar to you, Rowena?
She clearly wanted to embarrass me. Nick held my hand as I turned nervous, but I knew what to do. I was not the self-concerned Rowena anymore. Hi, Mom! Let me help you clean before class starts. You work so hard for me and I love you!
Ugh, pathetic.
Then, Nick joined us too.
You're the pathetic one, Mandy. Why don't you just mind your spoiled brat business and leave us alone?
Look, I'm sorry Mom stole your dress, but what you did was cruel. Stay away from me and my mom. Just then, Mandy's friends started to walk away from her, one by one.
Where do you all think you're going? You only walk when I tell you to walk.
But they all walked away, leaving her alone. Mandy gritted her teeth, then kicked the mop bucket, spilling soapy water everywhere. As she turned to walk away, she slipped and fell in the dirty water herself.
Ugh, this is not over.
We ignored her and continued to mop the floor.